This is Loppy. She's one of the first elk we've had on the Elkwood Ranch. We named her Loppy because her ears were always down. It took us a while to figure out that she wasn't trying to charge us. Her ears were just loppy. After Christmas, Loppy separated herself from the rest of the herd, and she was acting very distressed. We called the vet. She decided to pump her stomach. She looked bloated. We thought maybe a new food mixture had upset her stomach. After pumping her stomach, we watched her for 24 hours. In most cases, the elk look much better and you can see an immediate improvement. But with Loppy, we saw none. We had the vet come out a second time. This time we assumed the opposite end was the issue. Maybe she was stopped up. So, the vet, our wonderful vet, was giving her an enema and pulling out things to check on her, and we still continued to observe her. However, even after the enema, we saw no improvement. So we took care of the front, we took care of the back. After 2 house calls with no improvement, we decided it was time to send Loppy in for some observation with the vet and possible surgery. So the vet came out a third time to get Loppy ready to be transported to the vet clinic. Loppy was going to be scheduled for surgery around noon the next day. However, before 10, the vet called and didn't think she was going to make it even before she got to surgery and told us to come and say our goodbyes. We couldn't get there before she was gone. This was heartbreaking for us. She was one of our first elk that we've had on the ranch. We deeply care for our animals and do everything we can to make sure that they live happy, healthy lives. We couldn't figure out where we went wrong. We opted to have an autopsy done on Loppy to make sure that whatever happened to her didn't happen to any of the other elk. With the autopsy, we discovered 2 incredible things. One incredibly frustrating thing, and another an incredibly sad thing. Our dear Loppy had been shot. The bullet had gone through our rib cage on our left side. She died of internal bleeding. You might ask, as we did, if she had been shot, why didn't you see any blood? The bullet hole had sealed up, and her outer wounds had healed so fast that blood never poured out or pooled anywhere in the yard. For those of you thinking, well, she's an elk, maybe she's fair game and someone saw her and just decided to shoot. But our entire property is double fenced, clearly marked with signs that our animals are not wild game, that they are ranch animals. Also, each animal we have is tagged. You can't see any part of the elk from a major road unless you're one of our direct neighbors on the backside, and that's not easy access property. And our neighbors love our elk and they would never do anything to hurt them. We have really great neighbors. We've contacted the police, Fish and Game. They've come out for investigations. We've canvassed our neighbors. We've spent hours poring through our video cameras that we have all over the ranch for pieces of evidence. We currently have no leads. We've offered rewards for anything that would lead to an arrest. Right now, we have no justice for Loppy, which is the thing that is incredibly frustrating. The incredibly sad part of this story is that during the autopsy, we also discovered that Loppy was pregnant with another calf. She was one of our first elk to have a calf on the ranch. And anyone who deals with livestock knows that vet visits are not cheap, and house calls are really not cheap. We had 3 house calls, an overnight stay, and an autopsy. To make a sad story even worse, the injections Loppy received before she went into the vet for the final time made her meat completely inedible. So we lost Loppy, we lost her calf, and we lost all the meat that she could have offered. If in the end she was already gone, we could have used her. But instead, we just had to bury her. That's the story about Loppy. Like and subscribe to support the Elkwood Ranch. Have a good day, and ta-ta for now.